For those that haven't been watching any of the live streams, weren't in Orlando, Microsoft Ignite 2019 has been going on. It started off Monday morning with Satya's keynote, extended into some of the broader solution area keynotes, and then the breakouts began. And the last time I checked, I believe there's over 1,200 or 1,300 on-demand sessions already published online, with still a couple more to go, since Ignite still doesn't wrap for, I think, a couple more hours. So it's been incredible. I think everyone's still trying to absorb. There's been a ton of announcements going on this week. So let's jump in with my personal top 5 announcements that I think are going to impact a lot of you out there. So starting with number 1, it's the introduction of Azure Arc, which is all around extending the Azure management capabilities to any infrastructure, whether that's on-premise, in a private cloud, or in AWS and Google Cloud. So to illustrate the above scenario that I have in that screenshot of Azure Arc, let's take a look at a large financial organization that has sprawling server-based IT systems and Kubernetes clusters deployed in data centers, private and public clouds. The sprawl is going to creates difficulty to have visibility across that environment, and makes it really, really hard to manage, govern, and meet compliance requirements. So with Azure Arc, they can manage the servers and the Kubernetes clusters to get the following benefits. One is asset organization and inventory of Windows and Linux servers, Kubernetes clusters, and Azure services with a unified view in the Azure portal and API. Number 2, universal governance of customer resources through Azure Policy. 3, standardized role-based access control across systems and different types of resources. 4, enable application owners to apply and audit their applications to meet compliance requirements. And then lastly, ability to measure and remediate compliance at scale down to the individual application, server, or cluster. So this is what a lot of people have been doing. This is really hybrid 2.0. We've always talked about the hybrid rollouts and what that's going to mean, but in the world where we are going to have applications and servers and infrastructure all over the place, it's really, really powerful to hear this product announcement and what it's going to mean. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more around this and where the capabilities are today, tomorrow, and in the future. Moving to number 2 is Project Cortex. And this one, I think anyone can relate to. It's super powerful. I think we're really excited to have it. And really what it does is use advanced AI to deliver insights and expertise in apps that you use every day, primarily the Office 365 apps, to harness collective knowledge and to empower people and teams to learn, upskill, and innovate faster. So what does that really mean? So what it does is use AI to reason over the content across teams and systems. It's going to recognize different content types, extract the important information, and automatically organize that content into shared topics like projects, products, processes, and customers. Cortex is then going to create a knowledge network based on relationships among the topics, content, and people. The new topic pages and knowledge centers are going to be created and updated by AI and enable experts to curate and share knowledge with wiki-like simplicity. And topic cards deliver knowledge just in time to people on Outlook, Microsoft Teams, and Office. And one of those cards is what I'm showing on the screen with Planet Blue, where inside, I believe in this example, it's just a SharePoint page, where it automatically created a link on Planet Blue, which is a project within the organization, and surfaces up the people that are related to it, a description of what the project is, and corresponding resources that align to it. So super powerful. This is something where we all know, with all the different tools out there, all the different applications out there, how do we onboard an employee to an organization? How do we onboard a new employee to a project, or even external contractors, whoever they are? How do we bring them up to speed? Project Cortex is that knowledge management platform that I think we're all going to be super excited about on what it allows us to do. Number 3 is Microsoft Endpoint Manager. So this is all around transforming the management and security that we currently have to deal with, that meets you where you are and helps you move to the cloud. So what this really translates to is today, Microsoft System Center Configuration Manager, SCCM or Config Manager, however you wanna, whatever term you like to use, and Microsoft Intune are managing 200 million devices. Config Manager and Intune provide an integrated cloud-powered management tools and unique co-management options to provision, deploy, manage, and secure endpoints and applications across an organization. So with Microsoft Endpoint Manager, this is the convergence of Intune and Config Manager functionality and data, plus new cloud-powered intelligent actions offering seamless end-to-end management without the complexity of a migration or disruption to productivity. So with Microsoft Endpoint Manager, it's going to provide a transformative modern management and security experience that's going to help organizations move to the cloud, have these new capabilities, and kind of encompass a new modern device management admin center and tie in some other products like desktop analytics. With all of that data under one pane of glass, you can see a very early preview of kind of the portal kind of just coming together. The real insights is that, especially for organizations that have already made Config Manager investments and are managing some devices and then wanting to leverage Intune and the cloud power that it provides, this is going to be where we see all of these different tools and capabilities come together to provide a modern, intelligent way to see all these endpoints, whether that's Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, it doesn't matter. Bring it all together and have it be under one pane of glass that actually works without any limitations. So we're really, really excited to see how this happens. The licensing story is really, really good too. If you have Config Manager, it's going to create an Intune. You get an Intune license for your Windows devices. It's an awesome announcement. We're really, really excited because I think there's been a lot of confusion on really what the future for Config Manager was and where Intune's coming. So I think going under the one single brand and the capabilities converging together, it's going to be great. Number 4, kind of in the same tune of having device management be unified, there's now going to be Azure Active Directory Secure Hybrid Access. So what this allows us to do is connect any app in any cloud or on-prem to any user. So what makes this super powerful is that this is going to provide all your users with secure access to your legacy apps. You're going to be able to streamline and modernize access to apps that support legacy authentication, including Kerberos, NTLM, Remote Desktop Protocol or RDP, LDAP, SSH, and header-informed base authentication. So pretty much the full gamut. You're going to get advanced security capabilities, including conditional access, identity protection, and multi-factor authentication to help protect those legacy apps. You'll be able to leverage Azure AD for single sign-on and passwordless authentication, allowing seamless access to those legacy apps. Centralized access management for your cloud and legacy apps, which is going to be great, that single pane of glass. And then modern access methods for your legacy apps that let you retire those web access management solutions. So it really comes into 2 big ones. So already today, remotely accessing your on-premise apps was provided by Azure AD Application Proxy, which allowed you to securely connect to claims-aware on-premises web apps without a VPN, and then making it easier to use single sign-on and some of those other advanced security capabilities. What Microsoft really announced at Ignite was now simplifying or really extending your existing investments in network security to simplify and help secure end users access to your legacy apps with pre-built integration from partners such as F5, Zscaler, Citrix, NetScaler, and more. And what it's going to allow you to do is apply security policies to all your apps, regardless of where they are. And then again, get back to that single sign-on passwordless authentication. So on the screen, you can see what that conditional access story looks like and how we're able to extend to those on-prem apps and on-prem perimeter-based networks. So really, really excited to see more about that, do some testing internally and with some of our customers. Number 5, so this is a huge one, and this one is really interesting, especially being based in Michigan. We have a lot of manufacturing. Like most places, we have healthcare, we have retail, but talking to a lot of the clients at Red Level, we have a lot of first-line workers. And first-line workers are typically looked at as the hourly employees, the shift workers, things like that, that don't typically have a dedicated PC. Sometimes they don't even have a shared PC. So the whole point here is all about digitally empowering your first-line workers through seamless and secure access to the tools they need to be productive. So some of the new identity features in Microsoft 365 are all about helping to empower them to be able to access those company resources and work securely, regardless of whether it's a personal or shared corporate-owned device. With over 2 billion first-line workers worldwide, there's been a huge gap with this. So with the new sign-in and user management capabilities built specifically for scenarios that first-line workers are likely to encounter, that also address the security and compliance requirements, these features are super, super powerful. Some are in private preview and some are going to be available later this year. The first one is having SMS sign-in that allows workers to sign in using their phone number, not an email address, but a phone number and an SMS code for authentication, eliminating the need for passwords. So it's almost like a process for those kind of users that aren't routinely signing in with an email address or password. Another popular one that I think is going to be really, really important based on feedback I have with clients with shared devices is global sign out. Right now it's rolling out later this year for Android devices, and it's going to enable workers to sign out of all their apps with just one click, and helping to ensure that nobody else can use the same devices under their account. That's going to be really, really powerful when we look at, again, having multiple line of business applications with single sign-on, whether they are more for doing your job, accessing the HR system, all of the above. It's going to be really helpful to make sure that other employees or just people that shouldn't be on the device are able to see something that they shouldn't have because you signed out of one app and not another, or just forgot to sign out altogether. What's really helpful is that delegated user management is going to help enable scale and reduce stress on IT teams by allowing those first-line managers to manage the users and credentials. For example, helping employees reset passwords without having to call an IT help desk for assistance. These capabilities are also going to be available on Microsoft Teams, which will also see the rollout of off-shift access for first-line workers, which will allow companies to grant Teams app access to first-line workers and still comply with designated work hours. All things that we're hearing when we talk to clients in primarily the Michigan market, but of course this is a global thing. And you can see on the slide that these concepts, My Staff, SMS Sign, and Global Sign Out, are customer conceived and designed by Microsoft. So it's very flexible. We are always listening to our clients on ideas and solutions that would help make their jobs easier. I didn't mention it on this slide, but even some of the HR inbound provisioning is super, super powerful. So we know that Workday's already been out there for a bit. I'm forgetting off the top of my head because it's so much content, but we're seeing other of these HR platforms coming to market, and it's just going to make that full identity lifecycle and the new capabilities super seamless without a lot of IT intervention. So stay tuned, but always, if you have ideas or feedback, let us know and we can put that onto Microsoft, send that over to Microsoft and their engineering teams so they can continue to build and optimize these products that'll help you and those employees with their job. So that's just my top 5. And again, there are so many updates that came out of Ignite this year. It's crazy. I have so many on-demand sessions to try to watch and still trying to process everything. So what we're going to do is host a Microsoft Ignite Recap Virtual Summit on Wednesday, November 20th from 10 to 2 p.m. We've split it up in 4 categories. Top Cloud Insights, which is primarily going to focus on Microsoft Azure and the capabilities there from an infrastructure, security, and operations and management perspective. Then we'll do Top Teamwork Insights, which is really going to be focused on Microsoft Teams and SharePoint and Office 365. From app development, we'll be looking at developing applications on the Azure PaaS layer and some of the really, really exciting announcements from the Power Platform, with Flow being renamed to Power Automate, and some of the other capabilities with Power Apps and so on. So that's going to be a super exciting one with all the changes going on. And then lastly, one of the most important ones is, as we continually to go through these digital transformations, the top cybersecurity insights across Microsoft 365 and Azure, to make sure that as you empower employees and customers and vendors and everybody else you're working with, that your data remains secure at all times, and you meet all those compliance and regulatory requirements. So please register at the link below. We're really, really excited. And if there's any feedback that you want us to talk about, feel free to reach out to us on social or reach out to your account manager if you have one at Red Level, and we will try to incorporate whatever you want to hear. We want this to be about you, not just about what we think is best. So with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you on the virtual summit on Wednesday, November 20th. Have a great day, everybody.